Well, another episode, another Monday morning. God, I had a great weekend.
Aye, you sound super excited.
I do. Do you know what? Mondays, I keep saying this, Mondays are the best days of the week. See all these wet wipes dragging their heels and their knuckles like Quasimodo. Monday morning. Nah, it's amazing. Monday morning is a great start to the week because you've got another 4 days to solve your fuck-ups. It's better on a Monday getting told things than a Friday when you go, I've got all weekend to think about this.
Yeah, and the reality is, though, when you get told about something on a Friday, there's very little you can do over the weekend. When you get told on a Friday or a Monday, it's very little you can do until Monday that you're actually able to action it and solve it.
How many times do you get a client that maybe email you on a Friday night, just go, leave that with you for all weekend? You're like, twisted bugger.
It depends on the severity, because a lot of guys are out there that they do things like that. They'll send you an email because they know it'll ruin your weekend. They know it, and don't tell me they had to get it out. They could wait till Monday, because in between Friday and Monday, not that much, but they do it on purpose. So they stuff up your weekend, but they feel good. Some sort of masochist in them.
Well, I would say get better clients or get better at what you're doing. Just cut that shit out.
Well, this comes back to the beginning when you're needing a client, because
it's not necessarily a client. It could be a supplier. It could be anybody.
Well, yeah, it can be, but it's about finding the right supplier, the right client, and making sure they fit your client profile. Because at the very beginning, as we said before, we're taking everybody on because you're needing that money, you're needing that income, you just need it. But later on, you get more aware and you're going, I don't need this. I don't want this in my business.
Don't need this drama.
You know what's fascinating? The 10 clients you do work for, and only one of them's maybe a rotten egg, and you focus on that. And there might be an element because you care about your business and you want to make sure everybody's happy, but sometimes you just can't make everybody happy. It is what it is. But we focus on that one person where you go, look at what we've just created for these 9 people. They're delighted. They've given us a great review. And we've just got this one person.
But that's what a bad client does.
Yeah.
It sucks the energy out of the room, that. But you do get better at it as you get on.
It's not just the client, it's also staff. Because what you'll do is, if you have a high-performing team and you have a bad staff member, you'll focus on that bad staff member, trying to take him on a journey. But you've got 9 other high performance. Why do you do that?
So this is back to Simon Sinek as well. So this feels like we're recapping quickly over the year what we've just been doing. But the bell curve, 1 and 3. Just focus on the early adopters. Don't talk to the rest of the people. So in your organisation, there's 1 in 3 people that just get what you do. And what they say is just concentrate on that group of people. And they'll get it. And the late adopters, they'll have to watch the early adopters first doing that. And they'll go, right, eventually they'll just get on board. But the rest of them, don't even talk to them. Just leave them. They're your 9-to-5s.
But you still need them. You still need the 9-to-5ers to do this stuff.
You still need to, but it's not wasting your time trying to change them. What it's identifying is there's a particular group of people in your organisation that you can talk to, let them understand everything, the value you're trying to create, all this. But you only talk to those types of people because the rest of them won't hear it, they need to see it. And they follow other people. And there's another group that just come to work to get a paycheck and bugger off. So it's just really important that you get that, because you can waste your time talking to a wall and you don't want to talk to a wall.
We'll do what's that. So listen, on another news, quite important, Scotland made the World Cup.
Oh!
So that's 2 games in Boston, 1 in Miami.
Are you guys going? Are you going?
Yeah, definitely we're going.
All I would say is Boston, brace for impact.
This is what we're saying. And also, the business Babel will be coming.
Oh yes, we will be
to
coming.
Boston.
We'll be coming.
So if there's any business owners or even podcasters out there in Boston, let's hook up. Let's get a little episode while we're out there. That'd be good.
100%. What date are we going out there? June?
11th, I'm going out 11th till the finish. Which will just be 2 weeks for Scotland.
Just be 2 weeks for Scotland. But we will leave a mark on America.
I'm not sure they really quite know what's going to hit them.
Well, if you have any German friends, speak to Germany. Because somebody in Germany, they'll let you know how we got on.
So yeah, let's do that.
It's going to be an interesting time.
Perfect. So let's recap a wee bit on the year. This is not a Christmas special. We'll leave that.
I'll be next week.
Things have been difficult this year. What's the plans for going into next year? Like, what are we thinking? Where's the pivoting happening? What's the scope? Wicus, you're first.
Depends on, there's so many variable factors. I do think that 2025, if you have to have a recap, it's been a very, very difficult year. It doesn't matter which business you're in. It's been difficult. New legislation coming in, increase in national insurance, increase in wages. It's just been difficult for businesses all around. But now you say, what are we going to do in 2026? And I think very often guys don't take the time to look at the year. They don't reflect, but they also don't understand their numbers pretty well looking forward. You know, like a forecast. There's a science to a forecast. I mean, we've just gone through a forecast. There's a science to it. It's not just sticking your thing in the air, but it's now how do you make that forecast realistic? So what is the pivotal moments? I mean, construction is down, hospitality is down, everybody is generally in a bad mood. So what do you need to do to change? And the interesting thing is, though, we all want to be instant millionaires, but if you talk to billionaires, it's 20 years that they've had to work on it. I mean, I said to you guys, Howard Schultz came back in 2008 into Starbucks. They were hemorrhaging money. And in one afternoon, he closed like 400 stores or 500 stores. He closed it. And he goes, this is the start of rebuilding it. That's 2008. We're in 2026. So 18 years. That's how long it takes. So the real question is, what are you seeing? What are you seeing that's working or not working in your industry? And where are you seeing gaps that if you can do that? And you need headspace to do that. You need time to do that. You need to brainstorm. You need to surround yourself not just with your existing team. You need external advisors. And that's why when you look at board compositions and large organizations of what they call executive directors, and executive directors do the day-to-day running, but then they've got non-executive directors. And a non-executive director's role is to start supporting, but also question, why are we doing this? Let me understand that. Because it's the difference between strategy and execution. Strategy is always 3 to 5 years, and it always asks why. Execution is the how, and it's within the next 12 months. Very often business owners don't understand that difference. They have no strategy for 3 to 5 years. They just work on the execution day in, day out. And it's like eating soup with a fork. You stay very, very busy, but you also stay very, very hungry.
My boards, I'm just getting the process underway now. I think every business should have a board of some sort, no matter what size they are. But, you just get on with your dailies. But I think, I understand that there's levels of where you've got to, and you maybe just aren't the right person to take it to the next level. And I'm still very keen to learn and go forward, but there is definitely a lot that I need to learn to get to the next level. So a board's a good thing.
So dumb that down for people that might not know, because let's be honest, when you start self-employment, you don't know everything. You're caught in the hamster wheel. And the thing is, when you're talking about time, this is the reality of it. We can see these things, right? But it doesn't always happen. So you don't have the time when you're self-employed. You do have the time when you've maybe long established and you've got a team around you. But let's break it down and let's go to the reality of it. Somebody's an SME, somebody's maybe got 1 or 2 staff. How do they find the time?
So I think that is, how important is this to you? Have you just changed so very often you call yourself a business owner, and this is reality. You call yourself a business owner, but what you've done is you've created a job for yourself. That's all you've done. You've created a job for yourself, and your stresses are 15 times more because you're the one that has to worry about how am I going to get paid? How am I going to pay my team? How am I going to do things? So when we talk about putting a board together, it's not your friends, it's not your family, it's not people that you're familiar with on networking connections. It's people that can add value longer term to your business, people with a different skill set, people with a different knowledge. I would say you're looking for somebody that's a generalist, not a specialist, because specialists seem to focus in on either operations, sales, and that's where their focus is. You need somebody that's got a general overview of business, that's not scared to question you. But how do you start that? You start at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you say the first hour, can you meet 7 to 9 or 7 to 8? Because that's your golden hour, depending on where you are. Or you say 5 to 7 at night. You need to create the time. If you're not going to create the time, you're just going to be a hamster in that wheel.
It also doesn't have to be outside working hours, because it is part of your business. So
it depends on your time.
Saying, but it's depending on your time. Because when you work for yourself, you've got your own wee business, you might only have 1 staff. So yes, it's all great when we get up to that level where you can go golfing for 4.5 hours. Yes, you're networking and you are making connections, but then the phone's still going, emails still need to be answered. Yes, you can block out and get better at blocking all these things
Which
out.
you can, for sure.
Well,
But
we
that
had this
happens over
conversation.
time.
I was going for a walk at the weekend there, and one of my friends said he was getting really stressed out and time. I need time. I went, well, try and make time. You know, you could, if you were in a networking group, you wouldn't be answering your phone. If you had your daughter in the hospital, you couldn't answer your phone. But once you set your own diary, people then understand, oh, Johnny Wicus Mike's busy at that time. You
Just in a
can't get him at
meeting.
that time.
Yep.
You put on airplane mode if you've got that, you know, oh God, the lights have went on, I need to answer that. You set your own diary. So there's loads of little things, but you set the rule book. You set it. I would also say, urge people to reflect on their year and think more about the value that you're creating for your clients. Like really, really look at it and go, have I created value for my clients, or am I just saying that to everybody? And how do I find these things out? Maybe spend the time to ask your clients, because once you re-ask your clients, how was the experience? I'm just checking in for the whole year. You might find you get more work from that as well. And look at your sales process, because sales is a lifeblood to any business. What went well, what didn't go well, and what didn't go well is probably the thing to look at, because that'll make you a little bit different. And just remember, you've got time. Even if you're in your 50s and you've decided to start a business, whether you're late 50s, you've still got time because you've got the experience. And everybody needs to make it the £1 million, as you said earlier. I need to make it by tomorrow. It's a long game. It's a process. It's a hobby. You've just got to remember it's a journey that you're on.
It's an overnight success story, 30 years in the making.
Yeah.
There's only 3% of businesses get the £1 million turnover. You know, it's not a lot when you look at the big scope of it all. But I also, if you're looking to change things, so your year's been what it's been, but you're looking to change it, it's never going to happen if you don't take the time to sit back and actually look at the plan to change, doing something different. What is the direction you want to go in, and actually just taking a minute and having a look at where you actually want to be, and does that align with your personal goals? You know, there's no point in you pushing the business away forward and personally you're not getting what you want out of it. So it's just taking the time to get that plan in place, and if you need help with it, is to get the right advice from the right people. And that sometimes can be a challenge in itself, but got to try. Just going to go and do the same thing next year as you did this year, nothing's going to change.
Well, it's back to everybody has that £1 million, or how much. You came to me years ago saying, how much would it be enough? Well, you said to the guys, 10 million, what about 9 million, what about 8 million? Like £1 million, it's just, I think it comes with bravado and ego, because yes, you could buy a plane if you're making billions, and that gets you from A to B very quickly and efficiently, because you'll be looking at your time constantly. I remember, is it Martin Gilbert? It's the second man in command of Revolut, and he was talking about the owner of Revolut. He says his diary entries are mental, massive introvert. He won't sit with people, but he'll have his diary blocked out every single day, like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, because his time is so valuable. And maybe that's what floats his boat, but it's not everybody's boat. And whether he's on a journey to change the world through banking, or he's just want to make as much money as he possibly can, you can't spend it all. And how much is enough? And it goes back to the reality of things. I know maybe going on the other side of this, but you can make 100 grand a year and give you a nice few holidays, enough to put clothes on your kids' back, enough money to go out meals, go to America for the Scotland games. How much is enough? And I think what you're saying is, when you're aligning your goals and what you want out of life, because that's what it is, it's your life. Your business doesn't have to consume you, but it can be part of you to get you a life that you desire and you want. If you want to be flying helicopter all the time, right, fair enough, that's your game. But you need to find out what you want in life and use your business as a vehicle to get there. But it doesn't always require that £3 million profit. It's nice to have it, and it's nice to be able to expose yourself to new what's the word?
What is it like? Well, living standards
experiences.
Go up, but
But
choices.
I don't think you need all that much money, man. I think you just become a bigger dick when you've got more money.
Well, money's definitely a thing, though. And how do we go forward into next year by making more money? Because it is harder now. The government are really making it challenging for businesses to make money now.
There's two equations to money. There's cost and sales.
We've covered sales quite a bit.
Yeah. So what are you doing with your costing? How are you costing your stuff? Are you still relevant? Checking every single penny. Do you still need it? Do you not need it? I think we spoke the last time about how do you stress test. And I said you halve your revenue and you double your cost, but your cost is a start. How many of your expenses, how many times do you sit there and just go through it? And it's simple things. It's maybe not even something big. It's maybe 6 or 7 subscriptions. Do you really need 3 of the same type of subscriptions? Do you really need that? And it might be a little bit of money, but if you start adding it up over time and understanding how costing influences your business, because you need to get your cost base lean, because that is what it requires. And lean is just what you need to go through. And you check that monthly against your bank statement, because a lot of times you put together a budget, but you never check it back and go, okay, well, I didn't look for that. And whenever you do a costing or a budget, you need to leave a little bit of money for contingency, because if you run a motor vehicle fleet, there's bound to be a big repair and you never budget for that. And all of a sudden, 2-3 grand later, you don't understand what's happened to your cash flow. So that's quite important. I think the costing is the one side for 2026. You need to get to grips with those costing numbers. But then on the other side, you need to understand what makes you money and what doesn't make you money. And that is where the difficulty is which areas of your business are making money, which areas of your business are growing, what are the new opportunities happening in your area. Those are the types of things that you need to really delve in. But you need some sort of a base to evaluate how successful it's going to be. How many new customers do you need to put on to break even? What is your break even point from a cash flow perspective? Not from a profit perspective, from a cash flow perspective. Mm-hmm. So how much cash do you need to generate to, at the end of the month, if your bank balance started at £1,000, to keep it at £1,000?
There's also another element where the costs.
It's pricing structure.
Pricing structure, but away from that is your team. Is there any way where you can go close to the wire to adapt, pivot your business with PAYE? Because mark my words, this is an opportunity for, I don't know if it's just always entrepreneurs and business owners that see it, but there must be some PAYE, your team, that see the difficulties in business, again, the 1 in 3, that see this and go, God, what can I do to try and help you? Because not every job is for life nowadays. Even what we do in different businesses, it's not for life because you're constantly evolving. But maybe you have to change the way you do PAYE. Maybe you have to make them subcontractors. Maybe you have to let them go and then come as a consultant. Whatever's the legal standpoint, you have to look at all these different options and speak to your accountant. We've got Danes here, Linda. Speak to them and get the education.
Absolutely. So when you talk about that, the first thing they're going to come back to is IR35. So they've just substituted a job. So they're still going to have to pay tax, or you're going to have to pay tax for them. So you need to really sit with the right people in the right ways and have those open conversations. And that's where a board becomes really, really important, because if you've got the right board around you, they can help and guide you in the right direction. I want to go straight into this. I know this is all going out and recording, right? But it's important to be totally honest and sincere. How do you get around IR35? Difficult. IR35 is difficult at the moment to get around, because if you look like an employee and you smell like an employee, you are actually an employee. Right. But there are things that you can do in terms of different contracts that you could be working for, different projects, different people. There are ways to get around it. Make no mistake.
So it's just
it's about understanding the clarity.
Right? Like you can't make one of your employees self-employed and then they just simply work for you.
You can't do that. No, you can't do that, because that's wrong. But you can get them as contractors to do different projects for different companies, different people. You can line them up to do different things in different ways. So you could look at that. But again, it goes back to getting your accountant on board, making sure that you are not transgressing. But if you're only doing something for one company, it doesn't work, because then you're an employee.
The other side, if you've got good people in your staff, and that's a discussion to go down that road, you're always running the risk that, they get their own project on the go and all of a sudden then they're not available to you. And that's, suddenly you've just lost the staff, because then that road that they're on, their own little business now, is taken off, and before you know it, you're just not going to have them on your team anymore.
I feel a pent-up frustration kicking in here. I'm trying to hold back as much as I possibly can.
What's the frustration?
I'm just fucking done with it all.
Oh.
I'm just done with the government. I never signed anything. I never signed a contract to say I was going to give you all of that. But you think it's correct to take all the money off me that I try and earn for you pair of bastards. Oh. You shouldn't be wasting my money that I'm giving you. I live in this country and I enjoy this country, and I do my damnedest, and I pay taxes, I pay the VAT, I pay all of that, right? But there comes to a pivotal point, and I say this word all the time, where it's just enough's enough.
Why do you
enough's enough.
Why do you think taxes are so high?
Because we've not got enough people working in the business, what I would say, the United Kingdom. We've got people left because they realise they can, because they've got enough money, and they know it's unfair. It's like a deal that you make in sales. It's got to win for everybody, because then you can have the longevity. But just now, we're losing because the government are fuckwits, and they're just stealing and raping your hard-earned money. And that's the fact, by the way. That is a fact. And it's morally and ethically wrong.
So you know that I think that small businesses get squeezed the most for their money. Okay, yet small businesses are the lifeblood of the economy.
Absolutely.
So what needs to change? You talk about big change. Okay, there's no VAT on coffee. Okay, no VAT on coffee. Starbucks has got a really tax-effective scheme. So how do the governments get around it? Quite simply, make VAT 15% on everything. Everything, VAT.
It was interesting what Willie Rennie said on the podcast. It would never happen. It can't happen. I'd have loved to get more context on that.
It would never happen, because nobody wants to make that difficult decision. Because will it create a revolution? Maybe a revolution is what we need. Okay,
well,
but you cannot support
it's definitely going to have to come. Sorry to interrupt. The whole thing needs to be broken, and it's because it's already broken.
You've just removed your 2-child cap on welfare. Okay, so all of a sudden, businesses pay. You're going to be paying for it. If you think that the government freezing the tax band doesn't make you cheaper, you're an idiot. I'm telling you that now. It means that you don't lift your head above the parapet and think, shit, what's happening? Because the government and media does such a good job of feeding you just the information you need to keep you safe. And we all want to be safe. We don't want to know that the world is a big, bad place. The world's a big, bad place. You need to look up and see, and you need to start changing. And change starts with somebody standing up doing something.
But this is the thing, is people talk a great game in the background from a safe place. It's these guys out there, there's girls and guys out there saying the things, and we don't know the ins and outs of what's happening to them, and probably the strength and resilience of these people putting their head above the parapet, and it's fear. That's why they stop it. But people have got to realise we're the majority. We're the majority, the people, not the government. And I think it's something Maggie Thatcher said, like her, love her, loathe her, it's irrelevant. She went, it's the people. The government work for the people, not the other way around.
Right. I'm not sure which one it is, but
you can only choose to be offended.
There's that one.
Johnny's on a rant.
We've not used them for a while, so let's get them in there.
There's a moment where I just get that, I get angry.
Yeah, it's frustration, because you work really hard as a business owner to generate money. And then you see the VAT bill come in, you see the taxation bill come in, you see the PAYE come in, and you go, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Because I'm going backwards. Reality is going backwards. And then do you take that? And I started this by saying, did you just trade a job for a business? Okay, because reality, what you're doing is, if you're not serious about your business, and it took me a very long time to get that. If you're not serious about your business, you've created a really good job for yourself and a really good lifestyle. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's where you are. Okay. But there comes a time when you strategically have to look at your business and go, all I've done is I'm keeping other people in a job. I've got a good lifestyle. But what is there more to life than this? Is there more? Do I want to do different things?
That goes back to what we're saying. There has to align. So, it may well be that what you're doing in your business isn't actually helping you in your lifestyle. So, is there a point to it?
When you write down your goals,
and that's a big thing.
You can actually see them, and neurologically, I don't know what it does, but there's something you've just written down on paper, and you go, that's what I want. Right, okay, how do I get it? And how do I use my business as a vehicle to get in there? And when you write it down, there's a sense of like, aye.
So the
it makes it
interesting,
real, yeah.
2 points on that is, firstly, when you write down what can go wrong in your business, you write it down. It makes it real. Okay. Before it just sits in your head, write it down. It makes it real. Now you know what the risks are in your business. Second point, you write down your goals. Okay. And everybody does that. But where's the level of accountability? Who holds you accountable? To say, remember, we were going to say we're going to do this and this. Okay. Because day to day takes over your life. And before you know it, you're sitting in July and you go, I wanted to achieve so much at the start of this year and look where I am.
It's amazing how much you get done by putting it in place, this plan. Like, yeah, I've always done it, but I'm doing a 3-year plan now, business plan, projections. And one of the things I've done is I've taken every gross turnover from my accounts, put them down on a spreadsheet. So I've put a graph. I've got all my operating costs and then my bottom line profits are all in this graph. So 3 simple lines, and it's amazing the story that I'll tell you. Just looking at it, my operating costs are massive on the letting side. But the plans that I've got going forward with 3-year projections, how much that changes that in a positive way. So, I'm already, there's a little shoot of inspiration there.
Because you would be starting to look at how much money you're making per property and how many properties do I need to bring in.
Yeah,
so when I tell you, so there's an inherent cost in your business to deliver a service. How good are you at understanding those numbers and those costs? How good are you at putting together? And it's your business, your numbers. Okay, that's the thing is, for me, an accounting software or accounting package, that takes the money that comes into your bank account and the money that goes out of your bank account and it categorizes it. That's okay. But you need operational information about your business.
Well, I want to flip a question onto you here, maybe outside the box a little bit. What would make you a good employee? And the reason why I asked this, we're talking about entrepreneurs and business owners, okay? But we want to also realise it takes good people. So if there's anybody that's in PAYE, works for a company and they like where they work, but what makes a good employee? Because you also have to make sure you keep a job unless you're going to go into your own business. But what makes a good employee?
So let me tell you this.
What would make you good then, Wicus?
I'm an exceptional employee because I suffer from something called shareholders mentality. So when I get into the business, I don't think about it as your business. I think about this is mine. What do I need to do? Don't just stop. Shareholders mentality. I've always worked like that. Somebody once gave me a valuable piece of advice. He goes, my job is to give you the opportunity. What you do with that will determine where you go. Okay, so when I come in, when you suffer from shareholders mentality, you're a natural problem solver. You want the best for the business. You'll go over and above. You'll sit. You'll feel the heartache. Yeah. When bonuses don't come in, you don't gripe. Yeah. When it's hard, you roll up the sleeves. You start thinking about it outside the box. Start thinking about it like it's your own business. That's in essence what makes a good employee.
Somebody that's not huffing.
Somebody that doesn't throw their toys out of the cot because they didn't get an increase. Somebody that doesn't moan. Life is unfair. Get over it. Life is hard. Everything is hard. Choose your hard. Okay, but do you really care? Do you really care about the business and the job that you're in? The truth is, 97% of people don't care about the business or the jobs they're in. 97% of people don't care. They come to work to earn a paycheck instead of coming to work to make a difference. Now, how difficult that is. Extremely difficult to change a culture like that because people just don't care. They profess that they care, but actions speak louder than words. So how do you show up? How does a good employee show up? Good employee doesn't come to work at 8 o'clock and leaves at 5 o'clock. Yeah, that is maybe. Does a good employee stay a little bit later? Does he get everything done? What does a good employee look like? Just because you work 8 hours a day doesn't mean you're productive.
Yeah, that's very true.
Okay, so there is different facets to this. It's how you execute it. It's how you show up. Behavior. We talk a lot about culture. For me, culture is driven by behavior and attitude. That's how I see a culture of a business.
What about you, Mike?
Similar to that. Like you do, I always had like a bigger picture view on things. You could see, like I was a foreman for years, then I was away from it on holidays. And then I went back and worked for a couple of guys that I knew. And they had a foreman there who was horrendous. Like he was shit. He did not give a fuck. Like I would be there about an hour and a half sometimes before he turned up to open up the workshop. And then from then there's coffees, there's chat, and it's like, well, what are we doing? Like we'll have to wait till the owners come in. It's like, there's just no point to you at all. And he was getting paid good money. And then there'd be jobs sitting that were finished and supposed to be out. They're just still sitting there, and he just didn't care. Whereas I do care. I've always cared. So, from a business owner's perspective, I'm an ideal employee, and I did have, I'm working in there.
Shareholders mentality.
So once, I had to go and have a chat with them because this guy's not right for their business. They need to get rid of him. So they asked me then to stay on, and it changed everything for them because now they've got somebody that's taken charge of everything in that place. So, really, even though it's not maybe my job to be dealing with the clients or to order material, if it needed done, I done it. Mm-hmm. Because just you could see it, and I would stay. I was always there early. Yeah, you're there early, getting the everything set up, lights on, heating on, whatever's needing done. You're already starting your day. Driving through to work, the brain's already going on what needs to be done, and then you're late. You're staying late because you've got certain bits you've not managed to get done in the day. You're not getting paid for any of that. It's
the hard truth for any employee listening to this is, and anything, people are selfish by nature. So what's in it for me? But John F. Kennedy once said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
And there are a lot of
ask
people
not
like that.
what the business can do for you, but what you can do for the business.
Well, I've I was actually, excuse me, I'm thinking about it. I started working for myself when I was 19.
I was not far off it as well, mate.
But before that, I worked in I did my apprenticeship, and I think I gave it all I got, and then I think it was just the value that I never got back in return. Yeah, great guys and everything. I wouldn't say anything bad about them, but there was a feeling at that age.
Goes back to the other side of the coin. When you see an employee doing that, what is your leadership style like? Do you take them on a journey with you? And if you recognize your employees, how do you reward and recognize them?
I think that's
double-edged
a
sword.
big thing. Like as a business owner, if you've got employees, you must be aware of the people that are in your industry or your business that are of that ilk, and build your business around them. Because if you're not recognising them, good people will leave. If they're not. I think what
you really need to really get to grips with is you work for them as a leader. You work for them. What they need, how you feel you can get to where they need to go, you look after them, but you ultimately, this whole title, I'm the boss, get the fuck. I hate that. I'm just like you guys.
Johnny's on a rant
again. I'm just the guy that's got a job in the business, and I need to work for you guys and help you as much as I possibly can to help you grow. Yes, and it impacts business when everything's going great. And when everything goes wrong, I'll take the bullets and I'll just try and find a way to get it fixed.
I mean, the rewards, that was my first time being a director, because the reward for me and the work I was doing was recognised by them bringing me in and saying, look, they obviously had a view of they don't ever want me to move on. But the way that they done that was by offering me shares in the business. So I've now become a director, and there's a whole side of things there that I hadn't been involved in before. And for my education is for me to enhance myself, that appealed to me, which is why I ended up staying. But that's what got me into all this. It was just working hard and getting the opportunity. So that opportunity is out there. If you're a business owner, same sort of scenario, is something to look at, is that you could offer them, and it doesn't have to be, it could just be profit shares. There's different shares you can offer people, but that's something to look at if you're looking to try and build good longevity and team.
But even just recognising things. Thank you. It doesn't always have to be the money. As much as if the money's there on the table, give them it. But just taking time to say, by the way, I've just noticed how hard you're working. I really appreciate what you're doing. Listen, and even give them a couple of hours here and there, or half an hour away early. Just look, it's the least I can do. I really appreciate it. You can make people feel absolutely amazing sometimes with the just smallest gesture, and you can also make them feel the opposite by doing something wrong.
By doing nothing.
Well, by doing nothing, yeah. Because the lack of communication can let people wonder and ponder, and more often not, they absorb the negativity than the positive. Mm-hmm. So just be aware of that as an owner, a business owner, an entrepreneur.
Like it. Well, listen.
So whirlwind tour, lots of topics, but just sort of recaps.
I think you just need to get a plan, get a buzz back in a step. Have a plan that's positive. Where are you going to take it? Like, what's going to happen next year? Start looking at your numbers. I get excited by looking at my numbers because it does tell you a wee, it's a story there, and it's a journey you're on. And if that journey's going the wrong way, then what are you going to do to change it?
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely.
I sit there with sweaty palms.
I
oh no.
When you look at numbers, if I look at your numbers, I can tell you if you've got a growth strategy, if you don't have a growth strategy. The better your numbers are, I could tell you how reliant you are. I can tell you if your business generates cash. And that I can tell you how valuable your business are, because everybody wants a valuable business. The reality is nobody has a valuable business.
And if you don't have a clue about any of this, find someone that's been there, done it, and get down and sit with them. They'll be happy to sit with you and help you.
I think the more often than not, when things are not right and the numbers are not stacking up, you know the true ability that you've got, because you get that inner wee devil and you go, right, I'm going to solve this. I'm going to get this sorted. And that's testament to you.
Absolutely.
You need a little bit of heart. You need a little bit of heart.
Choose your heart. And with that,
I would say we use this button.
this is your world.
Shape it.
Or someone else will.